Right, hello everybody and welcome. We're back. It's season 14 of FRL Sprint Sunday weekend. We've got something special in store this evening. But to help me introduce that, I'm going to welcome back Retro Ghost. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm very well, thank you, buddy. So, season 14, round 1, we have been absolutely graced with the 24-hour Nürburgring. And so, we missed the launch of it last season. And so, it's back season 14, the 24-hour Nürburgring. What an absolute green hell this race tonight's going to be.
Absolutely. So we've got drivers just coming out to set their qualifying times now. So first one round the track. You'll have to excuse it's quite hard picking. These guys aren't such a big map. But we've got Richings using the newly put into the game Ford Mustang that you might have missed during the break. He heads up the hill round the chicane. And he's now tails off into the Nordschleife part of the circuit. And he's going to start running through the forest. So this evening, we have an hour-long race to whet your appetites. It's going to be quite a long lap. Hopefully they don't invalidate, otherwise it's a long way around back to the pits. But like I said, we have Richings there. I think we've actually got a few drivers a little bit further along. It's quite hard to see that.
Yeah, so we did just have Richlings go through the Joker lap, which is nice to see that the game has fixed the Joker lap bug. So obviously the drivers can obviously just do the normal Nürburgring GP circuit, and so if they've been validated through that, they can just quickly flick round, say at the end of the GP circuit, just to restart their lap and not have to do an entire lap again.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it's great to be here at Nordschleife. Obviously, it's one of the biggest challenges in the world of motorsport, and we're going to try and get the best of it for you. Quite a few drivers electing for the Mustang Retro. I didn't see that one coming from our testing. It's not been too great, has it?
Oh no, of course it's a free car, so obviously people are going to use it to try join the meta, whether it will make them or break them. Say our good friend Undead tried the Mustang but it didn't work out for him, and say Kyle Revel, let's jump back into his McLaren, who's also racing tonight in the Super Sprint, couldn't hack it in the Mustang, so he's jumped back to his trusty McLaren.
As we've got car number 86 just pulling up a yellow flag, but I think he's cleared that now. Jump on board with Metro
Big
Canaan.
crash there from Richlings.
And he's back to the pits, his Richings.
I think that was a car just trying to get out of his way to start his lap, but I think he just thought he was going for a Joker lap, but didn't quite get on the anchors just enough in time.
Car number 63 also struggling to keep it out the barrier, it seems. Or is that 666? I'm struggling to read these tiny little numbers. There's our good friend Mr. Kyle Revel. Fantastic. So we've got Mr. Revel coming down the hill. Other drivers further along the lap. Let's jump on board to number 4. That's G. Harvey. In the black and yellow Ferrari. Looking super committed. Avoiding the early curbs. Obviously, on a lap like this, there's other places you can pick up time.
And so it's a very fully committed track, say Harvey. Choosing to run a black Ferrari and not his trusty McLaren as he did last season. Maybe he thought the Ferrari might have given more of an edge this season. A very nice looking all black Ferrari.
As he goes under the Yukumo Bridge and now thunders downhill. Very fast flowing section here. Blind crest at the end of this section.
Yeah, it's very tricky to get the rabbit hole right.
As he brakes perfectly, makes sure he doesn't flick it onto the grass on the exit. There's high curbs, can unsettle the car. And here once again, easy to overshoot, but no, gets it done nicely. Quality drivers we have here, uses all the extra curbing we have on the outside.
So just flicking through some of the pack there, buddy. I think the next car behind Harvey is our season champion winner last season, Gedman, in that very bright tennis ball Porsche.
We've gone from one extreme to the very the car that'll blend into the track, and one that's can be seen from space.
I mean, was there any notice to say it's a night race? Because I don't think Edmund might have got the memo.
No, he doesn't need no headlights.
No, not a colour like that, he doesn't.
So around he goes. He's got cars coming up behind him quite fast. That blue car being that of... Pick out the number. Al's. As Gedman does kindly get out of the way. And continue on his lap. We're going board with Al's.
Al's. Just about making sure his brakes get nice and warm there. Going very deep into the corner, but keeps it all on the tarmac there.
So yeah, Retro, a lot of sort of car-to-car communication needed around this qualifying session. Obviously, the drivers have got no reason to yield, but if it's a valid lap they're trying to get in, they're going to want to just carry on.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a misconception, say whether it's from our end or the game end, because obviously you can see the dotted colours on the minimap with their blue. They're just going for an out lap. But then say if it's a grey car, then obviously they're going for a push lap. Obviously sometimes the game might lie and say they're on one when they're not on one, but say a track like the Nordschleife, you kind of need to know all the ins and outs, every trick, every turn, every bit of gravel, every bit of rain, direction, all sorts on this track, just to gain the tiniest bit of time.
So I'm going to jump back to Kor Komalakis, a friend of ours from Racing League, far away. As he powers through, he is on a lap, it seems, in the blue, red and white Porsche. Oh, Retro, I think you might just need to turn me down. I'm hearing an echo, buddy.
That's right, no problem.
And Kokorakis, if I've said that wrong, I do apologise. It's even more painful for me as I am part Greek like yourself.
Oh, he's going to throw himself under the bus already.
Yeah.
We do not try to butcher anyone's names, folks. We do try our best. I mean, I can barely speak the best English at the best of times. So, I don't really have a leg to stand on, really.
No, Retro, we know you like to expand your language with a plum.
Not with the commentators' reasons, but hey, we do have Harvey, the front runner on the circuit, did just dip all four wheels onto the grass. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be an invalidation from him, but he still seems to be giving it some welly round the circuit, so whether he's just trying to get a bit of track knowledge just to see how the car handles, but say he did get all four wheels off circuit there.
Yeah. Based on the amount of time we have in this qualifying session, they're only going to get a chance at maybe 1 or 2 laps, so all drivers will be flying towards the line to try and get that lap in.
And so maybe people are just sticking to pushing on their lap just to get it done, because whether they trust the Joker to work or not, because I think that was a big update recently just to get the Joker lap working.
So Harvey does still seem to be pushing despite the off that he said he had. Staying very committed. He's got quite the lead on the lap in front of car number 98. That being...
Car 98 is Dial's.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, just excuse me, my throat was getting a bit crispy there. Just take a bit of a drink just to make sure we're not
It's a
gonna...
warm day.
Yeah, especially a ground floor flat, scorching.
Yeah, despite going a bit further back on the lap, he's not slacking. He's entering the final sector now. Under the Audi Sport Bridge. Not using all the curb on the exit. And now goes down this long straight for the first time in a long time. He can now see Harvey in the distance. Further behind them, we've got Kyle Reval. And 6-8. And Reval has pulled off onto the grass. And returned to the pits. So we're going to go up to, well, down to, Harvey, who has also returned to the pits. And out he goes again, electing not to set that time.
We've got Gedman just coming down the massive long back straight. I think just pulling aside to give himself a bit of space, I think. But we do have M. Grace shortly behind him in a very nice white, red and black Porsche. So Gedman getting all over the curved edge to give space to show that he's not going to get in his way. Very good line from Grace there. Just getting that car settled before he starts attacking the GP circuit straight. Oh, a bit of a snap there in the Porsche there. And so I think M. Grace is going to be the second driver to set a lap. Ooh,
and then up he goes.
6 tenths off Dial's at the
All
moment.
that nearly 8.5 minutes, and only tenths separating the drivers. It's absolutely incredible.
We just had Cooters just slip into P2 there, 4 tenths, nearly 5 tenths off Dial's time.
And we've got M. Simon, who's absolutely slapped the field down, putting nearly 7 seconds between him and Dial's.
That's probably the fastest time I've seen in this game so far. I know a lot of people are doing about 8-minute 20s, but an 8:14, even quicker than Simon there.
And that's Jake Kaufman in the ever faithful McLaren. I don't know why people ever come off that car. It seems to work for everybody that touches it.
Tabber's coming down the back straight. Not quite sure if he's on a lap.
Does seem to be pushing. As he enters the tight final section, pushes towards the line. What can he do? And that puts him up to P6, 12 seconds off the pace. And we've got Graf about to come across the line. Where's this going to put him? Oh, I think he's just gone over.
So
very congested in the final part of the circuit.
A very, very bright pink BMW M4 of Orlik. I'm probably going to butcher that, but say car 117, just about getting a big snap there before he comes into the GP circuit straight. There's a Porsche in front of him.
And what can Orlik do over the line? And goes pole what into the 1 in the 8.13s. Incredible.
So
this is the Console League Nova Mist. It is cross-platform, so yes, PlayStation and Xbox. What the drivers do we have coming towards the line now? 104 of Richings, who we dropped in with at the start. He comes towards the line. What can he do? Goes P8, 11.3 seconds off the pace. So I'm sure some of the admins can. So yeah, Nova Mist. Hopefully, one of the admins can drop you a link to the Discord in the comments while we're busy catching all the action.
So we do have A Sharp in a very bright McLaren, getting his car settled in just for the final couple of corners for the Nürburgring GP straight. I've seen a lot of drivers have a snap there, but say Sharp keeps it sharp, pointing it forward, getting it towards the line. P8 at the moment.
P8, so 10 seconds off the pace. So there's definitely tiers emerging in these times retro.
So we've got the best of the bunch here, the Pro/Silver split. So the mega grid between Pro and Silver, it's all to play for. So a track like the Green Hell is either going to make you or break you.
So just picking up Omran, who's deep into the forest at the moment, trying to work his way over these technical sections, trying to slowly clean up the graffiti on the track. I tell you what, that Mustang does look planted. Then again, why wouldn't it be? It weighs an absolute ton.
I mean, the better comparison, I think it'd be Wade an absolute tank, because I think it looks like a tank. They just flicked onto Jay Prentice, another driver that's picked up the Mustang.
I've mischaracterised that car. It is the BMW. It was the grill. The grill got me. It's just that very boxy sort of look.
Oh dear.
Should have looked left.
Oh dear. It's round one, dude. It's alright. We'll let you off. Your season brakes kicked in too much. So Jay Prentice has picked up the Mustang, and I know what a Mustang looks like. But say he's picked up the Mustang from last season, say on a push lap, so hopefully he can make some sort of time towards the drivers that have set a lap at the moment. So only 12 drivers to have had set a lap at the moment.
Do you know what, Retro? I was just about to call you out and say Prentice isn't driving a Mustang, he's driving a Lamborghini. There is another one.
No, there's two. I think from last season there was one that was in a Aston Martin and there was one in a Ferrari. So both Prentices have swapped cars this season. Yeah, one of them kept Italian and one of them dipped across the pond to the American tank of the Mustang.
We've got Omran coming towards the line. What's Omran done? He's gone P5. Gets inside the 10 seconds from the leaders of Orlik and Kaufman.
Speaking of Prentice, we do have El Prentice in the Lamborghini coming towards the line. Yet to set a time.
Prentice. As he tugs it to the wall. Where does he go? P2. Wow, what a time. Closest anybody's. And Kaufman as well. Further into the 114s. Oh, there was definitely a time in the 113s, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I think our leader's been disconnected.
Yeah, hopefully he can get rejoined quickly. But so he was right there. There was a time in the 113s. Oh, there he is. He's back now. Orlik is back with a 8 minute 13 seconds.
It's fantastic to see the game has reinstated his time.
Getting tongue-tied on this circuit because obviously we're such used to shorter circuits. Like 1 minute this, 1 minute no. It's 8 minutes for the Nürburgring. Oh yeah.
Mulnick's coming across the line, 23.6 seconds down in P14. Some of the drivers, I'm not too sure if they're just holding out for a place at the back of the grid.
Lil Holt in a Mustang coming down the back straight.
Another one going stealth with the livery.
That is a very nice looking livery. Just trying to flick through some of the camera angles here to get a nice shot of that Mustang. It's very nice.
So use that nice time wandering down the straight. No much steering input. Say hello to the squirrels in the trees.
That's it, as the saying goes. As long as it looks nice, doesn't look
it
good
should
crashing,
go nice.
But looks good going fast, then you're all right.
As he powers towards the line, one of the most powerful cars in the game. What can he do? Goes P14, 21 seconds down off the pace. 945 coming towards the line.
That's Huguenot in the McLaren.
So the McLaren does sound nice. Not quite as nice as the Lamborghini, I find, but the exhaust rumble is something lovely to listen to. As the marshals watch on.
So we do have the other Prentice behind in the Mustang.
Huguenot does just pop himself to P12. And
Jay Prentice pops P5, 7 seconds off the pace there.
Prentice brothers filling up the top few rows. It's fantastic to see. And thank you everybody so far for joining in with us. Number 79, let's have a look at Mr. Gedman. How could we miss him? Under the Audi Sport Bridge. There's loads of time to himself now to contemplate his thoughts, think about what he's going to have for lunch tomorrow afternoon. That rear end looks like it's had some action. With barrier, with another car, we don't know. I'm sure we can find out after the race, or he might even drop into the comments to give us a heads up. As it looks like the rear of that Porsche did just get a bit dancing over the crest there. It does love to bounce up and down, doesn't it? Must be quite soft on suspension, maybe looking to ride some curbs in the race. as he heads towards the line. Managed to make the AI marshals turn their heads to watch him come across the line. What can he do? P19, a minute off the pace. I did not expect that from Gedman.
So we did just have Kyle Revel just cross the line there, P14, 12 seconds off the pace. Oh no, he's just been bumped to P15 there. I think we did just have Eden come across the line there, just to drop Revel a few places.
5-1-2 of Rogers.
Rogers in the BMW, which... Greg, it's a BMW, not a Mustang.
I can see that. That's one painted in a way that I can see it easier.
So we have Rogers coming down the back straight now just to get the last couple of corners on his lap.
Digging me out like that. Read the back of his car, Retro. It says we're a team. We should live by that.
There's no iron team. I think you might need to use them to see.
I was going to do a Kobe Bryant reference until I realised it comes out quite inappropriate.
But we have Rogers that just went P18, 16 seconds off the pace there. I think we do have car 77 S Graf in the Mustang, so quite a interesting picture. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Mustangs, so or is that 4 BMWs, Greg? I lost count.
Oh, I'll get you back.
Oh, I think there's a bit of commentator's curse there. I think Grave just had a bit of a moment there in the last corner before the straight.
I'll get you back on
Gets
Tuesday.
it relatively. Ooh. So Grave does then put P19, 18 seconds off the pace there. I think the last car to come across the line there, car number 22, Jay Handley.
Currently signed P17, comes towards the line, holds it to the wall.
Goes P12.
Goes P12, yes. So there we have it. There is your qualifying rundown. Orlik, who got disconnected, managed to reconnect, got his time reinstated. 1:13.4 heading the field. Not sharing all purple sectors there though. He only had the first sector in his pocket. Kaufman had the middle. Prentice had the final. Only maybe about 10 drivers within 10 seconds of him, almost evenly spread across the top 10, and that is mostly filled with the pro silver drivers. And further down, Edin heading off the AM field with a 8:23. Further down with a few of the drivers, Nisbet and Cormacelis not managing to set a time. Hopefully they'll be looking to avoid a lot of the earlier carnage that this track often brings. Only a couple of drivers managed to put in 2 laps there. There's Eden, who did manage to improve, get himself up to P10. Handley as well, also jumped to a couple of more spaces. We had Tabbers, also in P16, getting an extra lap in. And Gedman, despite his efforts, couldn't seem to quite pull the lap together with a 9:13.
Yeah, I'll say Gedman's not a name to forget about. It's an absolute beast, winning the championship last season. So he's definitely got the tools in his arsenal to bounce back from not qualifying. So a track like the Nord, he's going to want to attack, but so it's very difficult to give space, not to obviously cause any incidents or anything like that. But say a track like the Nord,
Battle of survival over a battle for positions.
As much it may be hard to believe, as just if you get damaged, just try to get your way back to the pit, because obviously if you jump back to the garage, it will reset your lap, and that's not what you want on a track like this, where it's 8.5 minutes a lap, give or take.
So we have 1 hour this evening of racing round the Nordschleife. Let us know if you've got any early predictions. We'd love to hear them. Or if you think, we'll be kind, but if you think you've got mates in this that are a bit of a bottle job, we'll hear that too.
Yeah, I think, well, I could say that, but I can't say that at the same time. But no, of course, folks, do let us know. Get involved. Who do you think is going to spin it? Who do you think is going to win it? And obviously, who's going to bin it? Obviously, a track like this, it's going to be make or break. But say, do get involved. Let us know. So we do have the drivers just lining up on the track now. So thankfully, it's not a full formation lap, because that may take some time.
Absolutely. So the advertising boarding's way ahead. Obviously, they'll be looking way ahead for positions and for a win or just anything good for their championship run. Really tough track to start out on, but these guys are experienced, and I'm sure they'll do the best they can do. Strategy around this track is very much what you think you can handle. I mean, you probably will be.
It just goes into play. Think how big this track is. I think when I put 120 litres of fuel inside the car, I think it only gave me like 13 laps of fuel or something silly like that. Obviously, I know a lot of these cars aren't blessed with as a bigger fuel tank. Like the McLaren, I know specifically has got a slightly smaller fuel tank than obviously some of the rest of the cars. Like, you think the space of that Mustang, you could fit about 10 fuel cells in that Mustang, and it would still pull like a train.
Yeah, I can speak of experience with the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini, to me, always ran very well, very well on the fuel. However, I don't think it's quite the car for this circuit, as the curbs are vicious here, and the McLaren just does not ride the curbs.
Even the fuel usage in the McLaren's quite high as well. So there's definitely something to consider if you are a McLaren driver. So not only the fuel you've got to take, but obviously how much welly you give it.
Absolutely. One thing I must say that is quite absent from the grid, something that I know that would eat curbs for breakfast, lunch and dinner, is the Mercedes.
Well, surprisingly, we haven't got any Bentleys. Because I know we did have G Brown last season in the Bentley, but we don't have any Bentleys this season so far.
So yeah, two of the cars that I would have considered to be the most beneficial around a track like this, big, powerful cars, take advantage of the straights and get grunt out of the sharp corners, just don't seem to be existing. They're just not there. But maybe obviously we're judging all of that based on this round. There are plenty of other rounds.
Judging it on this round, I think that's why we're commentators and they're the drivers.
20 seconds.
We've just had
Mr. Hunter's. Mr. Hunter said, "Fire on me being in the wall by 2 laps." I mean, I'm not giving you that bet because I believe you'll win that one. So as we lock in on Orlik, who's going to take the field away on this formation lap. And thankfully, for once, the game has given me initially a very good camera. As Mr. Undead has assumed that Kyle was going to be out within 2 feet down the main straight. Good friends, harsh rivals. A man that really should be racing in this race, Undead.
I know, Undead, the man that eats, sleeps, Nürburgrings, repeats. Surprisingly, he didn't jump on this tonight. As I was going to give the benefit of the doubt to Car rather than 2 laps. I give him 2 corners at the best.
As the Lamborghini at the front of Prentice, really risking it against the wall there. Retro knows something about crashing cars before the green lights has gone out.
Ooh, gonna be like that now, is it? Gonna get the claw sharpened. I was just warming the tyres, but unfortunately the tyres aren't warm enough, and the wall was quite warm on the front of my car.
Should have been sat out in the sun all day in Donington, was it?
So, yeah. Couldn't do it on a cold night in Stoke.
But off we go. Sorry, Retro, but Orlik has put the hammer down. Closely followed by Kaufman on to his right. But down the inside, Gums Prentice gets Archie barged out. So Orlik's going to make this one into the first turn. But he does have Kaufman on his inside, but he kept his nose ahead. Orlik, he just clips over the curb there.
So just to remember there, the Nürburgring tight left there to not go as wide. Oh, we've got M. Grayson Eden at the back having a bit of a rub in his racing there.
And Kaufman has just taken the lead around the outside and into the inside of
Grace is round from Handley, I believe. I might be all car across track there. Richlands has then got met with a McLaren sideways across the track.
Yeah, Richling's not looking good so far. Bonnet already in tatters, side by side with Revel. Revel, an experienced racer, trying to slip in the back of Richlings, but Richlings in that Mustang is going to look to pull away.
I think we did just have Molnix all over the grass there and the sand, going for a bucket and spade. So just trying to get all the drivers where they should be, obviously, because we haven't had a sector time yet. Obviously the drivers are a bit.
We're about to get one. We've got Prentice lining up. Cooters moves to his left. Here he comes, he gets alongside. Into the uphill braking. Yeah, backs out for the chicane. Probably a smart move at this point in the race. Just get through and get into the forest section. So Orlik, who is still showing in first, but I assure you he is in second. He's not happy about it. Kaufman looks so committed out ahead, he's pulling a bit of a gap here.
So I see blue flags already. Not quite sure why we're seeing blue flags, but there's a few cars on the side of the track just at the beginning of the entrance of the Nord. You've got Lilyholt, and I can't quite see the car in front. That's I'm gonna probably butcher this. Bailey with an I, or sorry, YI, but let's say both drivers there just pulled over to the side of the start of the Nord. So maybe we might see that in the steward's room, but say most of the drivers are getting in their rhythm now as the sector times have been updated. So all the action is going to be where they are. As we just picked onto El Prentice there, getting a bit of his lawnmower simulator on in that Lamborghini, as Greg likes to do quite often, cutting the grass.
That car's got such a good nose. The nose on it's so good, it just goes exactly where you want it to. And now my timing screen's finally updated. So there you are, guys. Now I can start bringing you battles that are going on based on the timings and how close they are.
At the moment, Mitro Kanan in the Porsche, chasing down the BMW there into the foxhole or the rabbit hole. I can't remember which one it is, but I know it's a hole somewhere. Oh no.
As Sharp gets really heavy over the curbing in the rear of the shot there. He's getting chased down by O's FSR. This allows Grace to get a bit of breathing room, but Grace not quite closing in on the battle ahead of him with Omran and Mitrov Kanin. But Sharp has closed back up again. That bounce has not cost him too much. Grace really under threat here. Further back, saw Handley in the hunt. He's got Huguenot ahead of him, and he looks like he's going to throw one to the inside. Ooh, looks like Huguenot has that covered off. As mist covers the trees, hope there's no mist in the driver's eyes. Huguenot goes a little bit wide. I think this move is coming. But nobody wants to get stranded halfway around the lap. It's a long way back to the pits.
It is indeed. So if you can get it drive back to the pits before returning to pits, so it will reset the lap.
Oh, sorry, I'm going on board with Simon, who's lining up Prentice around the outside. He's using the grass. He's still around the outside. The power of the Porsche isn't quite doing it just yet, but it's allowing him to stay alongside. There's nose on nose. Simon edging onto the grass, but Prentice gets back ahead. I tell you, the nose of that Lambo is the best in the game. But Simon is not done.
And so just slightly behind once again, P8 Mitro I'm just going to call you Mitro rather than try butcher the last bit. Was getting very close to the back of that BMW once again in that fast technical part of the circuit. So they did drop back ever so slightly. So we've got Sharp and Grace as well once again.
Dropping on board with Mr. Revel. He's got Richings for company just behind him. He's going to watch Tabbers ahead. Because the closer you are to the car ahead, the less space there is for those behind you to slot in and get a move done.
Just to interrupt you there, buddy, we've got S. Grafe already in the pits. And we've got J. Lil Holt and M. Kravek in the pits already. So 3 drivers already in the pit.
Oh, absolute drama. They're going to be a lap down. Nobody's completed a lap yet. So that means they've had to retire with some significant damage to the pits. Obviously, they'll come back out, try and get finishing positions.
Yeah, I think just looking through the order here, say some of the cars are looking very battered and bruised already. Not quite sure what happened to Gedman. So all the way down in P25, was going for a Sunday drive.
So the battle for P1 is heated up once again. Orlik, after originally getting away from Prentice, has dragged him along, and now everybody from P1 down to P4 is now with the leader. Now Kaufman and Orlik did have quite the advantage in qualifying. It was about 3 seconds to those behind them, but now the racing boots are on, the gap has tightened up. Back to this P8 battle again.
So we've got Revel all over the back of Tabbers there. Oh, having a bit of a snap as a bit of a launch to NASA there. So just trying to keep that McLaren pinch, try to chase down that Ferrari for P14. As I do see a bit of traffic ahead. Oh, there's a car spinning off.
And that's Huguenot in the barrier facing backwards.
There's another car off as well with yellow McLaren.
Who could that be? Was that Bailey? But he seems to be up and going now.
Sharp is the yellow McLaren there. And the first McLaren might have been Huguenot, yeah.
The Sharp is up and still going. He's still mid-pack.
So as the drivers do get their cars fired down his back straight to prove who's got the lower wing, who's got the better speed.
We've got Richings going for a move on Revel. Can he get 2 in 1? I think Revel's a goner here. He's tucked up behind Tabbers. Revel's holding it in there. The batteredness of that Mustang not deterring him. He goes to the tight line on the inside, but Revel rounds it round the outside and gets the speed out of the corner. Tabbers defending admirably.
Very good straight.
Oh, we've got Simmons around the outside of Prentice. Takes a lot of the curbing on the exit and gets ahead. Simmons been lining that one up for the entire lap. And Orlik, now those two are fighting, has got Kaufman all to himself. We're not looking to mount a challenge just yet.
And so once again, P8 Mitro trying to die. Oh no, it's a bit
was
of a
they sent them both round? And Omran, incredible drift. Just keep it on track and stay ahead. Wow. But that's made a slow exit. He does cover off Mitrov. Mitrov looks for a move on the inside. Omran is covering this very, very heavily. Omran does seem to have settled his car now. Further down, Richings within the 10th of Revel. Just dropping back now, that little bit of section's over. Quite the battle developing behind Omran. A few cars closing up of Mitrov Cannon, Dials, M. Grace. Then further back, got Hanley leading off Sharp, Tabbers and Rival.
Oh, we've got Mitro trying to go for a dive on the inside of the chicane. No, he does think better of it. Does get on the brakes there.
Oh, as he gets quite a snap.
Himself there. He's now going to lose the place to Owls as well, who says thank you very much.
If not Grace as well. Oh, Grace really did think about it there.
say Dial's getting very deep into the corner there. Nearly invited Mitro back past once again.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't want all that hard work to go away in vain. But now Simon, in all the action, has found himself. We're waiting for the sector to update, but I believe that is now Simon in second place.
You might be right there, buddy. So once that does update, he should be where he is.
I'll pass your thanks on to the admins, Samuj. It's fantastic to be here just as commentators, and obviously hopefully it'll be fantastic for all the drivers on the track. Best wishes to you all. Yeah, that is confirmed now. Simon is second place.
Going for a move on the inside of Hanley there. Does get the move done into the fast left-hander there, just for the heavy.
Oh, and further ahead, we had a car going off. That was Omran. Not his drift didn't quite work as well over the gravel as it did on the grass. Mitrov Cannon has now escaped this group a fair deal. This battle for P8 is quite something. But Al's still heading off this group, and he's going to want to pull up to the back of Cooters. That's the next stage of his race. But Orlik, I'm not quite sure what allowed Simon to catch up so quickly and get past, but he's coming back. There's Prentice behind me, just see catching and pulling some of the grass up.
Yeah, I think that's confirmed. I think Gedman's just gone back into the pits. So we've still got G. Harvey, Rogers in the pits, and so Gedman's just joined him in the pits as well. So hopefully he does get back out on the track to obviously defend his reigning title from last season, but obviously it's unfortunate round one for him so far.
So at the back we just picked up Mulnix and Huguenot, who had incidents earlier on. The front of that Ferrari of Mulnix is not pretty. Assuming Huguenot is looking a bit more together, we'll look to pick that car off.
We've got Sharp trying to fight Omram. They did look for a move on the inside, just a little bit better of it, but they just about barely scraping through that curb there.
He took a lot of it, didn't he? He was hungry.
He didn't have his Weetabix in his curbs instead.
These curbs around here are made of dried Weetabix.
That's it. So just whilst you've got Sharp and Omram just in front, we've got Hanley slowly creeping in this fight in front of him.
So yeah, Sharp has been slowly working his way through this group. He's not to do anything dramatic. Now the real fight ahead of him is Mitrov Kanin, who's not really pulling away with Dials. Only set about second gaps separating the group. As we go to another detection. Kaufman not pushing himself to take too much out of his tyres, but Simon really closing in now. Simon looks so comfortable on his current tyres. He's right on his gearbox.
Bit of moment from Mulnix there, as a Huguenot did let him past.
I think through this tight technical section, with the engine well over the rear axle of that Porsche, will really take advantage under traction. Yeah, Kaufman just doesn't look quite as comfortable. His rear end dancing around. Simon taking maximum.
That McLaren, it does get very skippy. I think if Kyle was in the party, another McLaren driver, he would say the same, depending on the setup and obviously the fuel for the car.
But now Simon setting this one up, I'm sure, probably for the main straight. I think the Porsche is marginally faster in a straight line.
Orlik is catching these front two.
Oh, as Kaufman gets on two wheels over the curb there. And now, Retro, I would put these three cars in reverse order of top speed. I'd probably say the McLaren is the slowest of the three, Porsche being second, and the BMW being the fastest. Obviously, it is down to setup as well, but we're about to find out as all three of these drivers come towards the back straight, and we're going to find out what the top line speed means for this battle.
So I think the BMW did keep it fairly pinned through that sector there just before it opens up for the back straight.
So here we go, really nice slipstreams are going to get engaged. Top Gear is going to get engaged. And it looks like Simon Kaufman with the clean air. He's put away, but Orlik thinks he's got a bit of space. He does draw up a little bit. As we approach top speed, it looks like McLaren is just holding on. Orlik having a big sniff. How's your brakes? They brake heavy. On and off the brakes as you have to. Oh, big snap.
So he does very well there to keep his barge facing the right way.
Simon sets the fastest lap.
Just behind, trying to get a better run on on-ramp. I think on-ramp did get a move done under the slipstream, I think. Sorry, Handley, sorry, not on-ramp.
The Sharp looking, but Omran's not doing great here. He's dropped quite a few places since his battles with Mitrokavin and at Dials.
So we do have Tabbers and Richings slightly behind Revel, so they slowly catching him and keeping an eye on all the sector times. So they have been slowly catching.
Oh, as we have Simon diving one on Kaufman. Kaufman's get pushed towards the gravel there. As we wait for them to come back into view. And Simon has the lead. He's a bit bounded over the curb. He's not taken too many of them yet, but he wants to defend from Kaufman. Kaufman looking to the outside. Spit of flame. Kaufman looks for a dive to the inside. Holds a nice tight line.
In there.
Orlik's not ignoring this. Orlik keeping his nose clean, just looking for a nice clean line to take.
So I think Orlik is all over this.
Misses the apex slightly, but gets on the power well on exit. Prentice can see this all emerging ahead of him. Kaufman gets a bit of a snap.
20-minute mark in this race so far. Nearly.
Only a couple of laps completed, but they've been energetic, they've been fun, they've been flary. Now Omran on the defensive once again. He's got Hanley and Sharp really close behind. Sharp looking so under control of that McLaren. Yeah, Sharp takes a tighter line out there, but doesn't seem to get quite the drive that Hanley does. But super confident on the brake. McLaren versus Ferrari.
So I did just flick through the pack to see who we had, as I did just see Harvey go for a smash into the wall. That's not quite the lap he wanted. So unfortunately
now,
staying in the
it
pits.
looks like Simon is dropping P2 and 3, but Orlik looking to not let him get away. He's really starting to put the pressure on Kaufman now.
So I think the way it goes, as our front runners are absolutely rocketing around this circuit, they're going to find themselves with a bit of back markers. So whether that's going to impede their position, obviously hopefully not too much, obviously due to blue flags. Obviously the track like this, it needs to be coordinated to let the drivers past without obviously hindering them too much.
The Prentice brothers staying in touch, not quite in the battle, but in touch definitely. And a bit further ahead. So the battle here, once again, for the bottom of the top 10. We've got M. Grace, Omran and Handley fighting over P9. Do apologise for those who are wanting up-to-date timing screens. as per the Nordschleife, the only update per sector. Was Handley does not quite get the entry into that corner that he wanted. It's put him offline, and Sharp on his gearbox looking to pick him off the earliest opportunity.
Yeah, McLaren's got some great acceleration there, just letting him know that he is there.
As he looks to draw alongside, gets covered off by Handley. Drops back a little bit. Go back to the leading three. Still running in formation with Simon leading them away. Orlick has dropped off just a little bit. Prentice dropping to 3 seconds. He looks like he's going to be on his way. Jay Prentice a bit further back, 15 seconds behind the brother.
So now we've got a bit of lap traffic also getting involved there. Just see Metro drive around the car there.
And Simon, with this extra bit of pace, is really pulling a gap now. We're going to see as he crosses the sector. Looks about a second and a half to the car behind. Really commanded drive from Simon there. Has kept his cool through all of this.
So we do have Handley all over the back of Omram in that BMW. So in that up right hand section there, practically pushing that BMW around, which wouldn't have quite thought the grunt of the BMW.
Handley offline again. Try and defend. Or try and make a move. It's hard to tell with two cars either sandwiching him in. Rebel behind, are we licking his lips if this all goes wrong?
So a 3-car fight for top 10.
As I predict, about a second and a half gap. Someone is doing a great job of pulling that lead out. Fascinating here, the amount of different lines being used between Sharp and Handley here. Pay difference as Gedman gets out of the way. Oh, there's another one. Does very well. Essentially acting as a safety car with the brightness of that car.
That's it. Don't let Bertie boy see that. Give him any ideas for F1.
So, Mitro catching Als quite well, who has Cooters not really that far ahead. This is great work from these two to bring themselves into the fight for P6, which is also the fight for P5 as well.
Flag somewhere. That was the orange McLaren. He's gone for a bit of a spin there. I think he's dropped there. I think Prentice might have got through. I didn't quite see what happened, but I did just see the yellow dot of Kaufman say have a bit of a moment there. But I think Prentice, the car 43, has now slotted through him. I think Orlick has now moved up to P2 and Simon's just pulled a bit of a gap now. Once the sector times does update, we will let you know, but I'm pretty sure that's what I did see. And so we do have Grafe on the back straight, so he's not going to hopefully get in the way of our front runners.
And once again we catch Simon happier on the grass than on the curbs, it seems. But Orlick sizing him up down the straight, gets to check his straight line speed against the straight line speed of Simon.
So I think that BMW from my camera angle does look like he seems to be reeling in that Porsche ever so slightly, just by looking at straight line speed.
It's definitely closer at the end of the straight than he was at the start. The yellow flag's been thrown ahead of them. And that's Graf, who's going to need to get out of the way here.
Yeah,
and does so well.
The pits there.
The other Porsche of Mitro Cannon, now within a second of Al's. Doing well as we begin to approach the halfway stage in this race. not been too much.
Got very close to Simon there. I think he did look like to send one in the turn 1 or turn 2, but I think Simon just got a bit of a better exit there at the tight left-hander.
So yeah, on the traditional circuit part of this layout, it's often why you might want to get your overtaking done. A lot more natural overtaking places. The Nordschleife can often be criticised for being a bit more of a time trial heaven than an actual racetrack. But we push on with their confirmation there and the timings that Kaufman, at one point leading the race, but through an error, has found himself down in P4 in between the Prentice brothers.
Oh, I'm going to interrupt you there, buddy. We did have Sharp go for a dive on the outside of Revel there. So Revel on the inside. Sharp gets a great drive, but Revel just keeping it pinned. So great driving there from Kyle to take the position back. A little bit of contact there, but Rubbin's racing. So nothing to worry about from the steward's point of view, but say great driving from Kyle there.
The Sharp still not letting go of Handley here. Headed off by Omran. This battle has been going on for quite a while. Oh, as I said, Handley's gone right over the curb to try and get the move done.
Oh, there's a bit of snap there. Great to...
As their Sharp throws it up the inside, they touch. Rubbing's racing. But Rubbing has sent Handley onto the gravel. They're neck and neck. Heading towards the last part of the GP circuit. Sharp does get ahead.
Was very
takes
lucky
the line.
To not have a snap back into him there, as we have seen previously before from previous rounds.
So Handley, after holding that position for so long, finally does lose out to Sharp, who I must say I think has been looking more confident. As Omran has a big snap. Sharp is going to be right in this. He tries to get his nose to the inside, can't. Omran finally gets his traction back. But I don't think Sharp's going to let him. He'll still be settling with Omran. Looks like after an initial attack, it looks like Sharp has been pushed back towards Handley. We'll go back to the lead of the race.
Oh, as you just nearly commentate curse there from Sharp. He was practically sideways over that first curb in there. So he does keep that McLaren facing the right way for a change.
So Prentice not really making much of an impact on the top two here. I think they've settled into a rhythm.
Oh, hello. Kaufman's on the grass.
Oh, absolute disaster. He's spinning up the rears. He's going to have to get that car turned if he wants to rejoin safely. Kaufman, who's lead of this race, his luck has just gone from bad to worse. If the timing screen is right, that has dropped him down to P8, if not worse.
As if he does or doesn't have any damage, but you can slightly see that rear diffuser there slightly vibrating and shaking. So whether he's got any rear damage, that rear bumper does look a bit battered.
So Cooters now trying to get in on Prentice.
Prentice getting all over the curb and they're affecting his line. Cooter's making full advantage of that. Does close the door a lot due to Prentice getting all over the grass there.
Yeah, Prentice looks like he's really ragging the speed out of that car. Does not look comfortable, but he's managing to hold on to the prancing horse.
Slightly behind, we've got Sharp and Omran bumper to bumper nearly through that technical part of the track there. So I think Sharp just backed out a little bit. So yes. Hanley is also on this as well. We've got Revel slightly behind. Oh, never mind, contacts cars. Oh, he just about keeps it pinned in the McLaren. So his fight for this top 10 is absolutely fantastic.
It is only a few position changes, but they're keeping each other honest. Stayed within a second and a half of each other this entire time. Further down the grid, there's a lot of respectful gaps. This is the closest battle on track as it stands. Omran desperately, every chance he gets, he almost pulls away by about a second, and then must be in the tight technical sections that these two just come flying back at him.
I think that's where the BMW may have its weakness, as much as it is a beast of a train pulling at top speed. So I think it's just where sometimes just being a slightly bigger car, not as nimble.
Oh, it's handy. Takes a nose to the inside, gets blocked. Puts a nose to the outside, gets blocked. He wants this back. It's all well and good you having aspirations for positions you never had, but he had that position from Sharp. He had P11. He wants it back. Sharp doing great work holding on to the back of Omran, giving him no space to slot his car into. Round the carousel they go, looking for a slingshotted exit, as it looks like Sharp just came off the carousel there, an awkward angle, and Hanley has got a much better drive. It looks like Sharp has regathered it for now.
Back to Cooters here, so he's still hanging on to Prentice in that Mustang. So he's keeping him on his toes, so he's just looking at the camera whether it's connection or genuine driving, saying that McLaren's just dancing all over the place at the minute.
Yeah. Jay Prentice also struggling holding on to all the power that Mustang possesses, heavy on the curb as he goes up the hill, plunges down. Gravity is the friend of that. Oh my goodness, he's bouncing all over the place. Can he hold on to it? He does get back a hold of it. But look how fast Cooters is now. Cooters has been held back, and now Owls is now through. Owls now gets a chance to go chase down Prentice. All the turmoil that Prentice put himself under has finally saved himself from Cooters.
All over the back of Cooters.
And now, after a long time with the guy who held P8 for so long and a gap back.
Oh no, Mitro. The second carousel just got a bit too giddy there, but just about keeps his car.
I was just about to sing his praises. The guy did so well to come back from P8.
Then get past him. So Mitro and Kaufman have just switched places there.
And off they go to try and regain what they've lost.
So we've got the Owls with some great speed there compared to the Mustang, just reeling him in like a fish.
Oh, that slipstream's working fantastically. He's going to go to the inside. He's going to be inside for the next corner. Prentice electing the outside line. He's going to look to break later. Can't get it done. The Owls covers the inside line well.
So we do have the first pitter due to race strategy. We've got Simon, the race leader, diving into the pits. So that now puts Orlik in the lead. Prentice up into P2. I think he's going to lose out to Jay Prentice as well. Cooters also dives in the pits there. Mitro stays out. Kaufman's in. Grace stays out.
Probably a bright idea for Kaufman. I expect Mitrov Cannintor to come in as well, but he doesn't. He stayed out. Doesn't look too damaged, that car.
Quite a few drivers are staying out.
So with 25 minutes remaining, we've got drivers pitting. Depending on when they come out, they might want to come out behind all the battles rather than within it. So go back on board with Simon. He doesn't seem to have too... Oh no! There's Simon on his way out! He's hit the wall!
Absolute scenes.
I'm going to check to see... Oh my goodness! That's a lot of damage on Simon. Completely self-inflicted. Comes out the pits and just goes straight into the wall. Unbelievable! This has blown this race wide open. Simon will definitely be slower with that damage. So Orlik, it's your time to get in, pal. Get in, get out, get Simon.
Get in, get out, shake it all about in your pink BMW. So I think just before Simon did pit, I think Simon was pulling a slight gap from Orlik there, wherever he had a moment, because the gap did extend to just over a second slightly, just before he did elect to pit. So interesting to see when the sector times do update, how far off the pace he now is, or whether he's going to pit again, or just try soldier on with the damage.
Car 77. This graph. That looks like a car that's seen better days.
Yeah, I think also for, unfortunately, Gedman as well. Just slightly in front of him on track. I think he's not quite had the championship return that he would have wanted after season 13. Oh, we got A. Eden going for a grass cut there in the GP circuit. So I think that's the technical thing about this track. You can't find a setup that's perfectly balanced for the Nord, and also also perfectly balanced for the GP circuit as well. It's either one or the other.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, given the option, you'd opt for the Nordschleife, as it makes up about 85 to 90% of the entire lap.
Definitely. But you think it's crazy.
Simon, now the timings have updated. Simon continues to drop. That's promoted Mitrov Cannon into P5. Great drive from him.
He's tumbling down the order. Simon P10 at the minute on my screen.
Yeah, obviously he has pitted, unlike those around him. But I can only imagine that he's costing himself time, hand over fist at the moment.
Yeah, just because of the damage, unfortunately.
Orlik just cruising out ahead. He does have a pit stop, almost to P3. He could easily come out and be ahead of Grace.
And so he just needs to make this in lap as quick and clean as he can.
But this battle for P7 still going. Sharp, Omran, Handley giving us the best entertainment of the race so far. And Sharp winning out. We've missed that in commentary, but Sharp has got past Omran in the final third of this race. As it just starts to look like some of these tyres starting to suffer. Lines aren't really getting kept to. But Sharp, who has looked the fastest out of the trio, is pulling away. As Omran takes a trip towards the wall. That's going to invite Handley along. Handley right on his gearbox now. As Sharp wiggles off into the distance. But Omran once again doing really, really well to collect his car up and get back on the power, setting normal lap times as quickly as possible. Handley fancies a go. He goes to the outside. I feel he's going to get squeezed out there. He does. Omran wasn't letting him just have a run around the outside. Handley being cut off at every single opportunity, but he's lassoed the gearbox of Omran. Oh, how close is this? Handley moving left and right, looking for an outside line. Heavy braking zones coming up. And Sharp finally putting himself good distance between himself and this battle.
So just slightly up in front we do have P5 and P4, Jake Prentice and P5 Nitro in, say, the carousel, trying to give it absolutely everything once again in that Mustang. There's absolutely wrestling that Mustang all over the place there.
Oh, as he takes a big trip, round he goes. Oh, that's a big hit!
Oh dear. He's definitely going to be hurting after that.
Oh yeah, the car's snaking all over the place. Mitrov Cannon smells blood. That is one limping horse. Oh yeah, he can barely keep the nose in a straight line. Prentice will be begging for the straight to come.
So I think now that he's got damage, he's definitely going to want to get past him, because he's only going to hurt him being stuck behind him.
Oh, Mitchell Cannon goes for a trip himself, and he's round. Grace needs to watch out. Oh, how fortunate.
I don't know about you, buddy, but I didn't want to look now. I want to close my eyes.
Oh.
Just put my hands over my face.
I mean, thankfully, the drivers here are protected by the fact that this is a virtual world. Many real-life drivers have lost their lives around 127 corners of the Nordschleife. But now, Mitrov Cannon has now put himself in the grasp of Sharp. Oh, as they collide! Nose to nose, they collide! Mitrov Cannon sits in the middle of the track. Tabbers comes through. And Mitrov Cannon does get himself away. Sharp, who's that? Oh my goodness, his whole front is hanging off.
We've also then got another
and back
Mustang,
to the pits he
Richlands,
goes.
just coming up as well. I think luckily just gets it re-going. So we've got Handley trying to chase down Omram down the straight now.
Great slipstream here by Hanley. He moves to the outside. He's going to try again. This didn't work well last time against Omran. Omran been defending his line very well.
When you have to attack the BMW, you'll get the slipstream. But as soon as you pull out the slipstream, you then lose it because the BMW is just an absolute beast.
Yeah, huge wing on the back of that Beamer. And they're doing all the right things, picking an alternate line, trying to get a different run. As he gets quite snaky, but he gets the power down nicely still. As they come down the pit straight. Will there be a big dive into turn one? He flashes away. He's like, I'm here, I'm gonna dive. He dives. Can he get his nose ahead? He can, but then the others rub in. But unlike in the GP circuit, they go quickly back left.
Again.
They're still side by side. Who's going to win out? Hanley's going to have the outside for the next corner. Omran does well, pushes him out, keeps them both on the asphalt. Oh, Hanley I think gives him a little tap in the rear, but it's all okay. Omran under real pressure here. Oh, as Hanley throws a big dive up the inside. Can't keep it. Can he get the power away?
Oh, he did a big snap there on the exit. That would have been a sensational move there.
Yeah, they just let Omran get the power down ahead of him, and he's got all the work to do all over again.
So
and now he's in for another lap of pain around the outer Nordschleife.
So Tabbers is closing in on this fight of Hanley and Omram as these two battle it out, slug for slug, lap after lap.
So Omran, clearly being the common denominator in these battles, he's been there through all of the wars.
So not to mention that our race leader at the moment, Orlik, hasn't pitted yet.
I didn't check the. I've not been told if pit stop is mandatory in this race, but I don't see why. Why Kaufman, or more specifically, who was our race leader before? Simon would have pitted if he didn't have to.
Well, if he didn't have to, he wouldn't have smashed into the wall, so...
Speaking of, we have not dropped in with Simon for quite a while. How's he doing? No mandatory pits. Thank you, Undead. I think Simon has left the session.
Yeah, I can't see him on my screen either.
So that, well, once race leader did so well in the battle, self-inflicted pain after coming out of the pits. Just felt no need to go on. But Orlik...
Speaking of Sharp, we've got Sharp still in the pits, whether he's doing a
He
pit
had
stop
he had the big accident with Mitrov Cannon.
Ah, of course he did. Had a brain fart.
So we are keeping you on board with the closest battle on the track. Omran and Handley, closely followed by Tabbers, who's getting ever closer lap on lap. It's car number 37. Oh, Sharp, yeah, yellow flags in the pits. Yeah, Handley, I think he sees his best opportunities in the GP circuit. He just doesn't have the power, the traction to come out of these slow corners. What he does have is a great nose that he can throw in corners like this. Yeah, look how much he gains. Ferrari's so good under the brakes. But Omran managing what he's got in his hands very well. The Prentice brothers trying very hard to catch up and get both of them on the podium. Al's is in the way. He's 14 seconds down the road from J Prentice. As previously mentioned, the battle on track that's ongoing is Handley versus Omran. Both drivers looking like they've kept their cars very clean, and maybe that's just the trick. This is the Nordschleife after all. We said in the beginning, it can often be a battle just for survival. And you keep your nose clean, you might just get away with something. Well, sections like this, just the BMW is king. Just foots the floor.
Those fast technical parts of the Nord. The BMW is just in a different class. You know, when it comes to tight, twisty technicals, that's where the Ferrari's going to let you know that it's there.
Right here, now Handley this time is to keep the car in the carousel right to the end. He does that. It's a good drive, stays in touch.
Oh, we've got Richlands having a bit of a mash with the wall there. As the tyre ball's not updated, but we do have Kyle Revel that has moved in front of Richlings, but the board hasn't updated yet.
Mine has, and I can tell you, yes, he has. As he now goes to chase down Tabbers. 11 minutes left of the session. Drivers starting to settle into their final positions. Drivers with maybe 5 seconds either side, we're quite content where they are. We'll just pump the laps in. But these two, being as close as they are, know that one error, one move, one bit of brilliance can make all the difference. These are good position points to take home. Oh, as Handley gets to quiet the bounce, keeps a hold of it, but has lost time there to Omran. But as is that Ferrari, gets his nose in well, catches right back up.
I think this might be final lap notification. Maybe not quite yet, but 10 minutes left. Maybe it might be one more lap after that, but I might have thought it would have been one more lap after this.
2 more laps of pain at the very minimum.
Or they're getting very close to the inside of the corner.
Omran has gone wide, and Handley is alongside. They are neck and neck, but Omran's so good at this positioning. He's been on the inside of absolutely every single corner. Or he's been there to take a fast outside line. The positioning from Omran has just been top tier.
I think he did just dip a wheel on the grass there, which is going to hurt that BMW down the straight.
It is.
As Hanley does move out.
Yeah, he's already alongside. He doesn't need the slipstream anymore. He got the better drive. But Omran's coming back. Oh my goodness, the power of that BMW.
That's exactly the same scenario I had on Watkins Glen trying to fight a BMW. I had the speed under the slipstream, but as soon as you move out and you break away from the BMW slipstream, they're just an absolute beast and they just tank it through.
BMW's slogan is the ultimate driving machine. And it's certainly looking like it in the hands of Omran right now. These two aren't even in the same tier, but they're fighting tooth and nail. Headley goes in, throws his nose in, but Omran is going to go for the outside line, gets himself ahead. They squeeze to the outside line again. Neck and neck with these two. Omran's going to have the inside once again. This man's positioning has been out of this world. Hanley trying absolutely everything.
It's safe to say though, I think the classes, I think Hanley's going to win for his class.
I think he's enjoying this battle. And even despite the battling, Tabbers has only maybe gained by about 3/10. Oh no, I say that. I think that's down to the timing's not necessarily updating, because Tabbers came through quite quickly towards the end there. I think he maybe wants his overtake just to make sure that he's safe from Tabbers.
So
Tabbers with quite an incentive.
Looking through some of the standings, obviously the different drivers. Obviously, Hanley's going to provisionally leading his class at the minute. Tabbers P2, Revel P3, Richling's P4.
Oh, Hanley gets a hell of a lot of curb there. Tabbers must be within like a second and a half at this point.
Well, we've got Cooters and Richlings there. We've got Cooters going for an absolute move around the outside there, just flicking through the pack there. I did just see a glimpse of it.
Richling's looking for one on the way back, but I don't think that battered Mustang is going to have much of an argument. But then again, it's only the front end that's broken, it's not the power. Yeah, there's no way Tabbers is still 3 seconds behind. As Hanley gets quite dicey over the curb.
Do you hit the wall?
No, I think he just got a bit power happy on the curb. But
so speaking of power happy, we've got S. Grave in his Mustang, grinding it against the wall, reversing across track there.
Oh, that is one mashed car.
Unfortunately, Gedman does move out the way of him, so not having to say the return he wanted. Gedman dives into the pits.
As I imagine Grave will as well. Oh, as Grave takes another hit to the wall.
Good job the drivers.
Oh, his Hanley's on the grass. Oh no, Omran's in the gravel too. Hanley's taking the position. And Tabbers is right there. Tabbers is going to take this one off Omran if he can't defend well. Tabbers is going to have damage, but I think Hanley's managed to get away with it. He just took the gravel. Omran, who's had that pristine BMW for this entire race, is now battered and bruised, and he's lost the position. Omran brought him down to P7 that he's from that P6 that he protected so valiantly, and he might not even get P7 here. As Tabbers, who's been brought into this battle with a fresh and clean car, might just pick him off. I think that was a final tap in the back from Hanley there. I can only imagine we're going to see that in the steward's room, because that's cost positions, it's cost time, and it's caused damage. But I think that this might be a last sector move from Tabbers. He doesn't need to rush. And the question is, how does that BMW do in dirty air? Because he's going to have some of it coming off the back of Handley.
So exactly right there, buddy. So it's going to be keeping your head down now. And so it's just difference between the classes. So whether it's track position or position in class. So whether you push and jeopardise a position in class or keep it clean and just get the track position.
You're telling racers to think logically.
I think, yeah, Hanley's going to move to the sides there, on-ram back through. Maybe he knew that he was in the wrong for whatever we saw. But say, on-ram has now just re-overtaken Hanley. So, it's
now
nice
the battle
to see a good bit
resumes.
of sportsmanship.
Absolutely. Obviously, originally we weren't too sure what the intentions were there, if it was incident worthy. And I think it was. But recognising his mistake, it's let on-ram back through and they can continue this battle. I think the timing of it was down to the fact that Tabbers was right there. And I think they didn't want Tabbers to get any freebies through sportsmanship.
Definitely not. Doesn't pay to be kind. Speaking of being kind, say Orlik is now just fully sailing on a Sunday drive at the minute.
Yeah, in one of the other BMWs in a different world, Orlik weathered many storms, had to give up positions to Simon, to Kaufman, and is just cruising now. Channeling his inner Shabina Smits. May she rest in peace.
The Queen of the
Sea.
Green Hell.
And yeah, just pumping in the laps and the corners now. An absolute tunnel vision to the end.
Interesting to see where he comes across the line with about a minute left.
I think he'll have it done. I think he's got it done.
Whether it reinstates a lap or whether he's just going to chill before he crosses the timing line.
Nah, 2 minutes 20 left. I think you're going to get one more lap. So it looks like Tabbers has been dropped by Hanley and Omran, and they continue their battle. Hanley, now having given Omran the respect that he deserved, is now back on him. Boxing gloves are back on.
Pushing him round.
I mean, he did that earlier on, Retro, and it ended badly.
Oh, final lap this lap. One more lap. One more lap. One more lap. One more lap.
We like to race with Handley because Handley is our mate. We like to race with Handley because he sends it in.
Whether it's a camera angle, I thought it looked like there was a few spits of rain on there. I thought, no, surely not.
Surely not. In the hills of Germany? Who would have thought it?
Never.
Now I think it's a bit too late to be throwing on wet tyres. If you get to the finish line and it's spitting. Then again, the Nordschleife is such a big place, it can be raining on the pit straight, but be bone dry and sunny on the far end of the track. Yeah, oh, it's Handley coming out of the slipstream already, alongside almost on the grass. Oh, is it Omran? He got it done. Handley's flashing him. Was there foul play there again?
Not quite sure, but so we definitely know the headlights of a BMW work, so...
Omran flicking to the inside. Does he hold it? Oh my goodness, was there a touch? I don't think there was. This has been by far my favourite battle of the day. This has been absolutely relentless. It has been a few cars bigger, but these two have been at the heart of it. They're going to come on to the final lap now, with Tabbers in tow. Further back though, we've got Richings, supposedly close on Kaufman, but from what I can see there, he's nowhere to be seen. Kaufman, who's just crossing the line. Ah, we'll be back on a normal circuit next week, everybody. And we won't have these timing problems.
That's the problem with such a big beast of a track there. I say we do have Kaufman, so just nearly doing the same as Simon there, just smashing into the inside curve or inside wall.
And we've got Cooters chasing down Revel on the final lap as they're about midway around the GP circuit.
So I think Revel might have had a moment there. So he was, I think, 13 seconds off the car in front. He's now 17. I think he's definitely trying to dig deep to get that car home in one piece. I say Cooters isn't a problem, he's in a different class. So whether he's going to try fight him for a good bit of battle or he's just going to let him past.
I think half an hour ago I didn't think he'd have fought him, but I think now, I think he'll want bragging rights.
So as it stands, Kyle is currently P3 in the silver class. So he is going to get that spot on the podium if he can keep this sort of energy and this speed up.
Cooter's not leaving him alone, he's showing him a nose. One of the oldest tales in motorsport, Ferrari versus McLaren.
The battle of the Italians.
Italians?
Well, Ferrari's Italian, isn't it?
McLaren isn't.
No, it's not.
He said Battle of the Italians.
No. I said what I said. I meant what I said. Don't question me. Quit Joe Jibber Jabber.
Quickly gone back on board with Omran. Tabbers is ahead of Omran. Where's Hanley in all this?
Hanley's still in front.
So Hanley is ahead of Omran, but Tabbers is now ahead of Omran. So a move has been made. We've been back following that battle for so long. We check away for a minute, and Tabbers has put the moves on Omran.
So that's how important this circuit is. So you can actually just give a breather.
Oh, sorry, Retro, but Cooters is trying to make a move around the outside of Revel. Revel covers it off.
Does it look like there's a bit of contact there, maybe?
No, I think he was just drew a bit further back as they came round the crest. Revel's got his work cut out from here. Cooters really looking committed. Here just faint as the tyre squeals as they go around these bends. No, not much in the way of active aero here. Revel electing to come over the curb, try and maximise his exit. That's Kaufman to the rear of these. I don't think he'll catch before the end of the lap, but anything's possible around the Nordschleife.
Forgot to mention though, speaking of cars going unnoticed, we have seen Jay Prentice close the gap to M Grace.
Now this is a hot battle that will develop towards the end. Prentice doing a great job working through. He's not going to quite join his brother on the podium.
So unfortunately that's Mulnix in the wall there. So we do have P2 Prentice coming around this part of the track. Hopefully he doesn't get blocked or hindered by him there.
Just see how he navigates this. Mulnix will have blue flags. Drops to the outside. Yeah, does well. Dow's looking a little bit bruised, but holding P3 well. The man who was very engaged in this P8 battle earlier on, doing well to put himself into the podium. I do think Grace has Prentice covered, but anything is possible.
Yeah, a very battered Mustang of Jay Prentice after the battles that we saw him have with the other cars and also the walls and the railings. I'm surprised to see that Mustang still has four wheels.
Oh, Coulter's basically pushing Revel along. Looks to the outside, which may become the inside for the next corner. Oh, Revel does find that inside line, gives him gets him to the apex first. Oh my goodness. The bravery you've got to have to follow cars nose to tail through these fast blind sections. But this has brought Kaufman in. Kaufman, the former race leader, will very much like to pick these two off. Wants to start the championship off on a good foot.
Cooter's flashing Rebel there. Don't know we're allowed a bit of flashing, but say it's just letting him know that he's still there.
I think he wants him to give that position because he's got someone in his tier chasing him down. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a brash move thrown in here to keep Kaufman off him. I'm just seeing the leader coming into the final section. We'll definitely catch up with him as he comes across the line. But we're not going to leave a strong battle while it's happening. And there we have it, Orlik over the line. Fantastically controlled race. We go to Prentice, who's done a great job to come through the pack. Watch drivers slowly ahead of him falter. But he is going to cross the line in P2. And we go to Als, who's in no man's land. He's got plenty of space either side of him.
Grace has... ball's not quite updated there. I'm going to interrupt you there, buddy. Hanley and Tabbers are going at it. These last couple of corners, is there going to be a move down the back straight? So the split class here, we've now got Silver, the fight for the win for Silver. So Hanley skipping that Ferrari all over the second carousel there.
Yeah, two cars of relatively similar characteristics. Will follow absolutely perfectly here, but Ferrari power versus Mercedes power. Not both. Sorry, they're both Ferraris. Just two different Ferraris. How long are you let me do that for? They look very similar to me.
Oh no!
But here we go down the straight. Tabbers.
Is Tabbers going to reel him in?
He's getting closer, that's for sure. He flicks his nose to the inside, but I think Henley's got this covered. Or does he? Oh yes, Henley does get it covered.
Yes, he does. I
think this is the lap covered. Unless Henley gets a dreadful drive out the final corner. I think he's got this. And there he is. Headley will cross the line, finish P6 ahead of Tabbers. Omran comes over as well. We're going to go back to this battle. Ravel has dropped behind this battle. He's let the class ahead of him go through.
So Kaufman managed to get in front of Cooter, so I'd love to have known how that happened. They're down the straight.
Oh, as they clash over the line. So yeah, Kaufman leads Cooter, leads Revel. We've got Richings, who's very much been in the wars today. Look at that car. What was originally a very lovely, crisp black Mustang comes across the line in P12, followed by Mitrov Canin in P13. Edin, pretty much all by himself here. We've got drivers a lap down, finishing their laps already. But this is for P1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the AM tier. As it crosses the line. Learning on the fly.
It's Pro or Silver?
Pro or Silver.
You wrote the title.
I did.
To be fair, it's been a really long race, folks, but it's been an absolute fantastic pleasure. Say 60 minutes of the green hell.
So, Kumalakis going very slowly. I do wonder if that's an issue. Rogers is still pushing. Can you catch him here?
Well, the fight's still on.
With how slow Korkomalakis is going, he could get caught here.
And don't forget, we do have a driver that I've not seen all evening.
He is very slow.
I've not seen him all evening. Where he's just randomly just appeared from.
So Rogers first is going to come up on the back of a... Yeah, and there he goes. He's taken Korkomalakis. So that for carrying on, Rogers has now got P12.
This could be dangerous. We do have another car coming up behind
I think he's run out of fuel. I think he's out of fuel. Mornweg goes through as well. Oh no. There's Graf.
Don't tell me we have to wait for Korkomalakis to get all the way back to the pits like this.
I mean, he's still committed to his lines. So Rogers.
Shall I look through on his dash there? I can't see out of fuel. Where is just my camera angle?
Rogers put in a very settled race. P12 making him. Well, that's not quite P12. Other drivers have left since finishing the race. Car number 77. It's 2 laps down on these. And that is Graf. We'll see. Points are finishing. It's a long way to finish around here. But it's well worth it as Graf gets quite a big snap.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't see the fuel because obviously you're in spectate mode. Even when you hit drive you can't see the fuel, but I'm
as
pretty
Mornweg
sure.
has just taken to the wall and put himself in another one. Has put himself completely out of shot. But on he goes. Treating his McLaren very poorly. Oh, and into another wall. Due to the nature of Graf being 2 laps down, as slow as Korkomalakis is going, obviously Graf cannot catch him.
Well, he's a lap down anyway, so...
As we'll give Rogers his moment of the sun. He does finish the race. He can get his t-shirt from the exit lobby. I survived the Nürburgring. As he seems to stop on the... Oh, there we go. Also, Mornweg is going to come back onto the GP circuit and finish his race as well. So he goes, a bit battered and bruised on the last lap. But he's going to bring his car over the line.
Just all eyes on that Porsche.
Oh, he's going to go down the straight now. At what point is the car meant to just, stop? I mean, he can return to the pits now. It actually won't affect his finishing position.
Well, there we have it, folks.
Well, there you have it.
You a parade lap of the Nord.
So yeah, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Obviously, there was much earlier on before the cars dripped over the line. We had some great battles. I'd like to give a special shout out to Orlik, who controlled the race beautifully, to the Prentice brothers, who drove through fantastically, and Omran, who is in a very, very harsh battle and did hold on for so long in his position before eventually getting beaten out by Tabbers. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. That was the Nordschleife. You can catch us at the same time, 8 o'clock next week, for some more racing action. We are back to sprint format next week, 20-minute sprint and a 40-minute feature, and we will get racing in normal format once again. But I hope you all enjoyed the Nordschleife. If you're racing, if you're watching it back, or if you're just following along this evening. And yeah, enjoy the sunshine that's coming, and obviously, let's bring it home, England. Have a good evening, everybody.
Yeah, take care, folks. Have a good night.
Right.